Hey, what's going on, everybody? Glad you can join me for this Monday evening recap of yesterday's game. The game ended a little too late for me last night, so I couldn't go live. I didn't even get any sleep, really, even with going right to bed after the game. So, yeah, lot to talk about. Um, it's definitely not a good feeling I have in my gut right now as far as this team is going. Things that I kind of was worried about a couple weeks ago are kind of still right there for me to talk about. And so I guess to start it off, um, I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. I told everybody that don't sleep on the Packers, don't sleep on Aaron Rodgers. As long as he's the quarterback of that team, don't sleep on him. And I got a lot of pushback for that. A lot of people told me that I was silly and that I didn't know what I was talking about, and that we were going to steamroll them and all this, that, and the other. And so nobody really heeded what I was saying. And what I was trying to say is that this is a new year, a new team, and anything can happen. And like I said, I got a lot of pushback for it. And what happened yesterday? Aaron Rodgers was Aaron Rodgers, and the Niners don't look as good as we thought they did. This team has a lot to work on. Um, there's a lot of things you could pick apart. There's a lot of people you can blame. I'm not saying this is the end all be all and that the season's over or anything like that. I'm just saying from where we want to go to where we are right now, there's a humongous gap. And it's going to take some really good coaching, some personnel decisions, and maybe eventually starting the rookie at some point, or at least using them way more often, because as of now, uh, we're pretty predictable and we're very easy to defend because everybody knows what we're doing. Cassidy says I wasn't wrong. I hated to be right, but I just had a feeling that last night's game was going to be exactly the way that it was. And it started exactly the way I thought it was going to be. I felt like Aaron Rodgers was going to come out moving the ball, pushing the ball, challenging our corners, and that's exactly what happened. Nothing was a surprise to me. It just everything went pretty much how I thought it was going to go. I still thought maybe we'd win the game. I didn't think we would end up, losing it, but at the same time, everything that went on and everything that transpired, I pretty much called it the other day. And like I said, I got a lot of pushback. I don't know why I got pushback. Everybody said we were going to run all over them and throw all over them, and our defensive line was going to dominate everything because of all the injuries they had. They had all these injuries, and we had all these reasons why we should have beat them, and yet they overcame and we didn't. So, like I said, hated to be right, but I kind of had a feeling this was going to happen. I'm kind of glad it happened early on in the year because it gives us a kind of a real litmus test of what we really are. And this team has a lot to improve on if they even think they're going to even sniff the playoffs or play well in the playoffs. So, Solid Root says Jimmy was horrible in the first half, 8 years in the league and mediocre play. Yep, I agree. And I've been defending him the first couple weeks, but I'm not defending him last night. Niner Faithful says call Sherman now and John draft a cornerback every draft until we exactly. I said last night, I tweeted last night that the philosophy of this team has to change. The way that they look and evaluate defensive backs. And until they do that, they're going to have the problems that they had last night. I'm so sick of seeing Dante Johnson on the field. So sick. Like, why is he on this team? You know what I'm saying? Jimmy played well, Kyle said, and everyone else played bad. Yeah, Kyle's full of crap. Kyle's just trying to protect his quarterback's delicate psyche because Jimmy's freaking delicate physically and mentally. So, I observed that I'm watching the game last night and I'm really taking an honest, hard look at the 49ers. And I'll be honest with you, they're not a real good team right now. They have a lot of good players, high level, highly paid players, but they're not a real good team. They came out super predictable, flat, with no energy, thinking they can just run the same mediocre, shift this guy over here, move this guy over there, flip this to Debo. The same predictable offense, the same predictable plays all the time. The horizontal offense, I call it, because everything is side to side. Nothing pushes the ball downfield. And yeah, that's exactly what happened. And I was like irritated. Like I'm watching the game and I'm just like, everything I'm seeing is everything I expected. And I so bad wanted to be proven wrong last night. But I don't think we're a really good team right now. I think we're a team with a lot of good players, but a team that is completely just we're not a cohesive unit at the moment. We can't run the ball because nobody respects Jimmy. So teams are loading the box and daring us to throw. They sit on everything intermediate because that's all we do. We don't threaten anybody deep. We play a horizontal offense, was absolutely zero threat to move the ball downfield. And teams are going to now start taking away the run that way because they know that Jimmy can't beat them. Jimmy is a dink and dunk Alex Smith type quarterback who everything is 5 to 8 to 12 yards, nothing more, nothing less. Super predictable offense. This reminds me of the Alex Smith era so much, where teams just compressed us and forced us to, we were pretty much the same kind of team even back then. We were kind of one dimensional, run the ball and then play action off of it. I thought that the running game was pathetic last night. I thought the run blocking was pathetic last night. Trey Sermon, it's hard to evaluate him right now because I don't know how much of it is them loading the box and how much of it is him just not seeing things well. But the running game wasn't very successful. I think Kyle Juszczyk was our leading rusher or something like that. He was the guy we were relying on the most, and that's just not going to get it done. The Niners offense with Jimmy at the helm is a run-first team, and when Jimmy is forced to pass and when Jimmy is forced to put the ball in his shoulders, he can't do it. At the end of the game, he came through, but most of the trash that he was cleaning up was made by him. He was the reason for it. So I don't really have any pity for him whatsoever. You come on late and you play the hero, saying, throwing the touchdown pass with however many seconds left, when most of the trash was caused by him. He was responsible for 2 turnovers. The fumble / throw, whatever he was trying to tell everybody, was inexcusable for a guy that's been in the league as long as he has. And I'm just so sick of everybody protecting him. Let me look at the comments here because I see a lot of you are saying some things, and I'm on a little bit of a rant right now. Hold on, guys. Cassidy says, I'm sorry, I don't know if you agree with me, but evaluated the game and I'm thinking, it's Kyle and DeMeco the ones. They're definitely the blame is going completely around DeMeco, Kyle, Jimmy. I'm sick of people making excuses for Jimmy. Jimmy deserves a lot of blame. Kyle deserves a lot of scrutiny too, because he runs the same offense and never deviates off of it, no matter how teams play us. He has a hard time adjusting or a hard time being aggressive. He's super predictable, super, what's the word I'm looking for? Safe. The word I'm trying to think of right now is escaping my brain. But yeah, the offense is very predictable, very safe. A lot of quick underneath throws, nothing pressing the ball downfield. to open up the middle of the field for a guy like Kittle. It's just all the same stuff every game. Nothing's changed in the almost 5 years they've been here. A lot of Niners reporters are talking about Kyle Shanahan. Yeah, Kyle Shanahan is definitely not without blame. Nobody's untouchable right now. I'm sorry. We're into the 5th year of this regime. I think one of the reasons that the Niners are the way that they are is that Kyle's protected. Kyle got extended. Lynch got extended. So I don't feel like there's this pressure on them that they have to perform. And I really think that's ridiculous for the amount of years that they've been here. Like, I feel like the pressure should be on them and they should be forced to go outside their comfort zone in the way that they call games and the way that they address their roster. I'm just so sick of this, like, forever rebuild. It's not a rebuild anymore. This is like a make or break type situation right now. And I'm just so sick of like how everything is still the same way it was 2 years ago and nothing's improved as far as the passing game. We still have the same issues with injuries. It's just more of the same repetitive crap. And I'm just really tired of it. 49ers Ultimate Report. Before the game, there were so many concerns that the Packers were dealing with. I knew this was a tough game, but the 49ers shot themselves in the foot so many times. Still mad. Yeah, the Niners had every reason to win this game with all the excuses that were being given for the Packers. And the Niners came out as flat as you could possibly come out. And I was just, I wasn't surprised, man. They came out flat against the Eagles too, you know? And then the way that the way that the game ended with the first week of the season, I don't know what it is with this team, man. It's like their killer instinct is missing. It's like they're in a fog or in slow motion right now. I don't get it. Like, what's your identity? Are you a running team? Are you a passing team? Are you a man team? Are you a zone team? Like, what is this? We're too many years into this regime for this to be, kind of figured out as we go type deal. We should be known for what we are, and we're not. So, Niner Faithful says, I'm not saying we should start yet, but Kyle needs to play Trey more. Yep. Defenses need to be scared and defenses need to be off balance because we're so predictable right now, Niner Faithful. Like, we're the most predictable team in the NFL. It's not even funny. Like, when you guys watch games, how much of you just say, oh, here we go again with the same, like, 6 plays that we run every game? He's supposed to be this offensive genius and he's supposed to challenge defenses and all this stuff. And I'm not seeing any of that right now. Mike Andrews on Nothing But Niners and Jason Aponte is frustrated with Kyle. Yeah, I'm frustrated with Kyle too. I'm frustrated with the way he calls plays. I'm frustrated with how he plays it safe, how he's conservative. I'm frustrated with the fact that you have a number 3 overall pick sitting on the sideline who is a cool, calm, collected type dude, or at least he seems to be. And he has so much God-given talent, and you can't figure out ways to put him in the game because you're afraid of hurting, Jimmy's ego or whatever. I'm so sick of it, man. I'm so frustrated with this team. Also, Trey can open up the run game because Eric Snow used to have that low amount of exactly. He threatens the edges, man. I don't know if you guys were listening to the broadcast last night, but Chris Collinsworth made an interesting point. He's like, with all the movement and all the stuff we do, with all the stuff going in different directions, he said on the one run where we went to the right side, I forget which one, I think Trey Sermon got stopped for a really big loss. He said that the left side of the field was completely wide open, and if Trey decided to take that ball and run with it, he would have been up the sideline for like a 40-yard gain. And that's the threat. That's the piece of the offense that is so critical right now that we need is something that's unpredictable. Defenses are not afraid of us, man. I'm telling you, they're not afraid. Nobody's afraid of us right now. They know exactly what we're going to do. We're 3 yards in a cloud of dust in the run game. We don't have any threat because Mostert's out. Elijah Mitchell's out. the whole you can just plug anybody into the Kyle Shanahan run game theory. Even I thought that. I fell victim to that. That was proven wrong. That's not true. You got to have some sort of talent back there. Man, I don't know about Trey Sermon, man. I don't know about three of the top 3 picks are not getting into the game. Aaron Banks not playing. Trey Sermon not looking real good. Ambry Thomas not playing. And then Trey Lance is being, used as, I don't know what he's being used as for. He's not being used right. Thank you very much, Brian Culp. Appreciate that, buddy. We didn't get the win, but we fought hard. We came close and almost stole it at the end. Yeah. Like I said before, and this isn't a knock on you. Almost only counts with horseshoes and hand grenades, man. It doesn't count in football. That's super poor clock management by the offense, by Jimmy. That's on Kyle and that's on Jimmy to figure out a way to run clock down. Like, how stupid are you? You got a Hall of Fame MVP Super Bowl winning quarterback who's been dicing you up all night and you've had no freaking answer, and you give him almost 40 seconds to get into field goal range because that's all they needed. Even I was like, oh man, we got this. And then I forgot, like, they only needed a field goal. They didn't need a touchdown. Yeah, that was that. I was calm at the end of last night's game, but I was pretty pissed off. Whatever that means from us fans, say Kyle. Whatever that means from the fans, say Kyle is an offensive genius. I don't get. I've been saying Kyle is not a good head coach, just disappointed. Kyle, to me, I don't know if he lacks. I think he lacks that head coach mentality because he only cares about the offense, Fernando. He doesn't care about the defense. He doesn't even pay attention to the defense. He's like his buddy in L.A. They don't care about defense. That's why they hand it over to some other guy and don't worry about it, which I think the coach should have his hands on everything. But that's just me. The fans in the stadium was electric seeing Trey Lance. Yeah, I bet, man. I bet. That place was packed. What a disappointing showing for a crowd that hasn't been there since the NFC Championship game, and that's the egg that you lay. That's sad. 49ers Ultimate Report. About to sneeze, guys. I've been saying that John Lynch was the guy. He traded for John Lynch and is the one protecting him. It's Kyle. Kyle still is supporting the pocket QB. I think Kyle is betting on himself, in my opinion. I just think that the way that this organization is run right now, with the coach and the GM being safe and having no pressure, I think it shows on the field with how they play it safe and how predictable they are. I felt like if their jobs were on the line, if there was some sort of threat, I think we would see more of a sense of urgency. I don't see a sense of urgency at all with this team. I see a team that says all the right things in the post-game press conference about we just got to do better next time, and that's on me and all this stuff. They say all the right things, and I've been hearing those things since 2017, and quite frankly, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of you saying all the right things. You've had one winning season since this regime took over. So to me, there should be no allegiance to keep anybody. Somebody's head needs to be on the chopping block this year. Probably end up being DeMeco Ryans if they have a really rough defensive season, which I think is bullcrap. I never thought DeMeco was the right guy for the defense anyways, personally. I thought they should have went with a more experienced guy, but that's just me. Fernando says, most Niner fans didn't believe it. All defenses have to do is stop the run, and the offense struggles. Nobody is scared of Jimmy. I've said it several times. Yeah, nobody's scared of our offense because they know what we're going to do. They know Jimmy's not going to threaten them vertical. We're a horizontal offense. We're side to side all game, every game. And then you bring Trey in there and you have so many different ways. I'm not saying Trey's ready to play mentally, but I feel it like this. Here's my observation. If you got to babysit a guy that's been in the league, 8 seasons, and you have to figure out a way to manufacture looks and reads and open guys for a guy that's been in the league that long, how come you can't do it for a rookie? You can't manufacture yards. You can't manufacture plays. and make easy reads for a young kid. I just don't understand. I'm sorry. I'm just feeling disappointed. I'm disappointed too, right there with you, Fernando, for sure. I was there at the stadium last night. I was pumped. I'm sorry that you had to deal with that loss, man, but that must have been fantastic to be there. I wish I lived out on the West Coast, Bryant. Unfortunately, I live on the East Coast in Bills country. So, oh boy, you meant to say Jim Lynch was protecting Jimmy. Okay, that makes more sense. Um, you know, we had the fear going into the season about our cornerbacks being an issue, and they are. Our secondary, mainly our corners, are. We have the worst secondary in our division, and that's saying a lot because Seattle. I don't think Seattle's got that great of a secondary. I thought Josh Norman played well when he was in there. He's only allowed, I think, like 1 or 2 receptions since he's played since week 1. But he got hurt. He injured his ribs. He was spitting up blood. I don't know if he's day to day or something like that, but he played well. But Deommodore Lenoir looks overmatched. K'Waun Williams, he gave up one huge play and then all of a sudden he was hurt. I think he got benched personally. I don't know. Secondary was a question going into the season. When you don't prioritize defensive backs with your philosophy of how you build your team, and all you care about is defensive linemen, this is what you get. The Niners don't have one elite level corner. They haven't had one in years. Richard Sherman doesn't count because he was on the downside of his career. When's the last time the Niners had a decent corner? Dion, Eric Davis. I'm not going to say Nate Clements or Carlos. Was it Carlos Rogers? That those guys don't count. I'm talking about like a guy that's respected where teams don't throw to his side of the field. We haven't had that. We don't draft it. We don't prioritize it. And I'm glad, in a way, I'm almost glad that John Lynch, and especially, is being exposed for his drafting philosophy and roster building philosophy, because they need to be shown that what they're doing ain't the right thing and they need to change it. You need to start prioritizing and putting the adequate resources into drafting and signing high-level corners. I know you can't load your whole team up with perfect players. I get that, but what we got ain't good enough. I know we're dealing with a lot of injuries, but we weren't good enough when we were starting week 1, and it's continuing. And the more we play great quarterbacks that can threaten us, the more that secondary is going to be exposed. You know, Niner faithful, I saw that somewhere, and I completely agree with you. If Kyle gets fired, I hope he signed Eric Bieniemy, because he did beat Kyle in the Super Bowl with that QB, and he didn't look at. They just exactly. They have had this Kirk Cousins obsession. I don't understand that. Yeah, Eric Bieniemy is like a sleeper good coach who, when he gets his shot, he's going to be really fantastic. Now, I will say he's got, who he has. He has Patrick Mahomes, but I think he would be perfect, Niner faithful, perfect for a guy like Trey Lance. He would know exactly how to use them. I'm not giving up on Kyle yet, but I think Kyle needs a wake-up call. I think Kyle is such a cocky prick sometimes that he needs things like this to wake him up, because I feel, like I said, there's no threat. He's not going to lose his job. The Niners secured him. He's like the golden goose, which I don't understand that at all, because you've had one winning season in almost 5 years, but I digress. Fernando says we are in trouble with the Seahawks and the Cardinals. Yes, we are, my man. Yes, we are. Brian Culp, Jimmy is a very intelligent quarterback, but he didn't manage the clock right at the end. No. Should have ran 12 seconds off. If you would have ran 12 seconds off that clock, I think we would have won that game. But the fact that we didn't, it's that I think those 12 seconds mattered completely. You're right. The right side of the O-line needs help, especially Mac doesn't play. Yeah, what was going on with Mac last night, man? Jay Grizz. Dude was getting we were supposed to have this huge advantage, and they were having all these guys missing. Dude, they whooped us up front. Whooped us. Mac looked horrible last night. For as good as he looked in week 1 with the run game and all that mess, and even in week 2, he looked horrendous. But you guys, a lot of that is the fact that teams don't respect us downfield. So they're just giving everything they got, blitzing and bringing a bunch of extra guys and just teeing off on the run because they know we can't threaten them in the pass game because we have Jimmy check down, or as I like to call him, check down Charlie. That's my new nickname for Jimmy, is check down Charlie, because that's all he does. Young Lion says Jimmy needs to go like right now. Yeah. Or at least he needs to be threatened to be replaced. I'm sorry, he shouldn't be safe. I mean, I understand that he gives us the best chance to win. Yada, yada, yada. I'm so sick of hearing that. Really? Did he look like giving us the best chance to win last night, guys? But any of you in the comments, did he look like that for most of the game? No. He looks scared. He has happy feet. Steve Young said happy feet come from somebody who's not seeing the field and they're scared. That's what happy feet are from. The greats don't have happy feet. Montana didn't have happy feet. Young, Rodgers, Elway, all those guys, none of them had happy feet. Marino didn't have happy feet. They were strong in the pocket. They stood there with aggression and, they were sure of themselves. They didn't look like they were ready to cry every time someone got around them, or if their quick hitter passes weren't open right away. Like I said, Steve Young says that's a sign that a guy's not seeing the field, and I completely agree. And I take Steve Young's word over a lot of people's. So, Brian Culp, I'm a Jimmy fan, but I want more Lance. I'm just a 49er fan in general. I don't necessarily hate Jimmy, but I think Jimmy, his hold on this quarterback position should be a lot looser than what it is right now. That's all I'll say. I hope I'm wrong, but the way John was saying Jimmy is a great QB and Jimmy is the guy, it sounds like John is either lying or he believes in Jimmy. That's just corporate talk, John Jay. They're just towing the company line, man. I don't think they really believe what they're saying. I really don't. How can you? Like, really? How can you believe? I wanted to bring up something tonight, that I wonder if you guys were thinking the same thing. And that is, where is our vaunted pass rush that everybody is so afraid of and talking about? Other than like Nick Bosa doing his thing on his own, the pass rush in the first 3 weeks has been almost non-existent. Like, where are they? Like, Aaron Rodgers, I think he was pressured on like 3 dropbacks last night. I don't know the exact statistic. Where's the pass rush? Where's Dee Ford? What was it? Armstead had a sack. Yeah, big deal. Who cares? They're not consistently in Aaron's lap. I know they were quick hitting us and doing all this, but when he was taking shots downfield and was waiting for guys to open up and routes to develop, there was absolutely no pressure in his lap. None. Where is everybody? What's going on? Like I said, this isn't like make or break or panic time, but like, come on, man. So far, I'm not impressed with DeMeco Ryans at all. Not at all. I'm actually very unimpressed. He's given up over 30 in 2 games. And then we had the game against the Eagles, which I really don't count because Jalen Hurts isn't a passing threat. So what are we doing, man? Like, where's the pass rush? Where's the rush to get guys off their spots, to disrupt a passing game? Like, where is it? I don't see it. Ronbo and me talk last night. They don't utilize their players right. I agree on that. I agree with that on Rondo. They don't know how. Think about this. We have Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, we have Trent Sherfield, George Kittle, all guys that are options in the pass game, and you can't dial up or figure out ways to get guys open. What is going on, man? We have so many options. Why is the offense so condensed? Why are your play calls the same thing every game? Like, where is a diverse play calling in this genius that we've all been talking about? Like, Kyle is like so stuck in his ways and runs things his way and expects people to adjust to his scheme instead of adjusting to the skill sets of the guys that you have on your roster and utilizing them to the best of their ability. No, we're going to force a square peg into a round hole. That's what Kyle does. I'm a 49ers fan. It's about the team. Yeah, it is a team. It is a team thing. It's not just one player. It wasn't just Jimmy. The defense played like trash. Both the offensive play calling and the defensive play calling was trash. There was enough blame to go around, man. There was buckets full of blame. I hate that almost all reporters were saying that Jimmy should start because he's the vet. Yeah. I even believe that for our Niner faithful. I drink the Kool-Aid because I think, we have a ready-made team, supposedly, with a great running game, supposedly, and a bunch of pass-catching options and a good pass-blocking offensive line, supposedly. And none of those things have came to fruition yet. None of them. So, yeah. I'm upset as a whole, but I am upset at Jimmy as well, too. Jimmy's not without blame. Did you hear that Jimmy said they dumbed down the offense? Trey Lance was going to... No, I did not hear that. Yeah, I heard that IU can be a deep threat, but Jimmy ain't going to take that shot. Look at Jimmy. His one deep pass that he threw last night, he was picked off. One thing that irritates me about Jimmy is the fact that he doesn't throw guys open. He throws to a spot. He doesn't throw and give guys a chance to run after the catch. What play was it last night where the guy was catching the ball, falling down, or guys are getting lit up every time they get a hold of the ball? Jimmy gets his guys killed out there. Like, throw a guy open once in a while. He makes one play and everybody's like, see, Jimmy's this and that. No, dude, he doesn't do it consistently. I just don't understand it. Fernando says, Aaron, I agree. Kyle is stuck in his ways and is stubborn. Sean McVay is smarter and got Matthew Stafford. Now dude, Matthew Stafford looks like a different quarterback. He's always been super talented, but damn, Rams are dangerous. Rams right now are the best team in this division, and it's not even close. They have a great offense. Their defense looks pretty good. So yeah, we have a steep hill to climb. It's a long season, but we can't lose ground to the Rams because the Rams beat the Bucs yesterday, guys. They beat Tom Brady and that vaunted team. So they ain't playing. I kind of always thought the Rams were the best team in the division. I thought the Niners would be like second. But right now it's head and shoulders Rams, and then everybody else is just kind of trickling behind. 49ers Ultimate Report says, I'm tired of Kyle. He plays the media with his bullshit answers. Kyle's ego is also bullshit also. John acts like a Boy Scout with his answers. He traded second round pick and wants... okay. Yeah. Both of them irritate me to you have no idea. I'm just sick of it, man. There's no threat of them losing their jobs. It's just everything's kumbaya and everybody's happy and we'll get them next week and we'll figure it out. And it's not the end of the season. And we got to, what do they say? What was Kittle saying? Be mad for like a day and then let it go, yada, yada, yada. I'm so sick of hearing that. Just shut up. Just shut up. Just play and win. Just win. Nobody cares what anybody has to say anymore. I'm so sick of it all. Jimmy G can run the offense, but we do need a legitimate quarterback, a legitimate running back. Yeah, we're hurting on running back. Jimmy looks better with a great running back, Brian. I hate to say it. When Jimmy has a really effective run game, he's a totally better because he's a good play action guy. Jimmy's really good at play action. When Jimmy is forced to put the offense on his shoulders, unfortunately, he just consistently can't do it. He'll get you in spurts like he did at the end of the game and on those drives, but on a down in and down out basis, he's not. You can't count on him. Do you see a possible trade for someone like Aaron Rodgers or another veteran team next season? Even with no, I see we'll get a good backup. You know who would be a real good backup on this team for like $10, $12 million? Fitzpatrick on the Redskins. I would take him in a heartbeat as a backup. You don't have to pay him 27. You could probably pay him like 12 to 14 or something. Boom, there you go. To me, it seems like Kyle has been getting out coached lately and doesn't accept blame. I don't see it against Bruce Arians, Pete Carroll, Bill Belichick, and Andy Reid because they admit them. Yeah, Kyle acts like a spoiled little brat, and he's pisses and moans and has an attitude when things don't go his way. And it's really kind of worn thin on me. I feel like he doesn't always act like a head coach. I mean, he's not like Jim Harbaugh crazy, who just was an oddball and like lost the locker room at some point, but he's definitely trending in that direction. Would I sign Frank Gore? If we were a team on the like up and up and we just needed a guy to like fill in a roster spot, yes. But we need a true bell cow or a guy who at least can be a semi part-time bell cow. And he's just not at that point in his career anymore. Fitzmagic, yes, I would like that. Yeah, I was saying we should have done it this offseason, but I'm not the GM of this team. Yeah, I'm going to go right to my next topic, and that's DeMeco Ryans. What are you doing, man? Like, what was that at the end of the game? You gave up. I mean, like, you knew what they were going to do. You knew what they needed. And your defense was, like, completely outclassed. And just, like, the way that whole situation happened where the linebacker depth wasn't far enough back, and guys were wide open, and there was blown assignments. It was just bad all the way around. DeMeco Ryans doesn't know what he's doing right now. I don't know if you guys heard the broadcast last night, but they were talking about him not being afraid to show man or not being afraid to show what he's running. Dude wasn't disguising anything he was doing last night. And when you don't disguise against a guy like Aaron Rodgers and he knows pre-snap where he's going and what he's going to do, you're beat. Davante Adams ate us for lunch. Nobody could stick him. They didn't bracket him. They took forever to double him. Like, what was that? Aaron Rodgers wasn't going to anybody else but Davante. It was Davante. I don't know if you guys are watching that. Over the course of, I'd say, like 10 plays, 12 plays, Davante got every throw. All of them. And nothing could be done. There was no adjustments. That's on DeMeco, man. That's totally on DeMeco. Don Emilio Garcia, at the bye week, the Niners are going to be in 2-3 period. I wouldn't be surprised. And if people think this is a Niner hate YouTube channel, no, I'm just fed up. Straight up, dude. Do we bring Sherman back? Yeah, it looks like that might happen, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately because I don't think he's the answer. He's slow. He's old. He's past his prime. He's injury prone. More of the same, guys. More of the same. Yeah, a lot of fans, and I hate to say this, but there's a lot of people out there that put on their face paint, that put on all their silly stuff, whether they're on TV, like they're doing a YouTube channel like me, or they're at a game, and they're so unapologetically loyal to the 49ers, and the Niners can't do any wrong, and Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are like the second coming of Jesus Christ. And you can't say anything negative about anybody because you're not a real fan if you do. And I think that's garbage. If me and my nephew would have made the YouTube channel that we wanted to make, I wouldn't have nearly as many subs. And I don't have a ton. I have almost 2K, but it's took me a long time to get there. If I would have had the channel that we wanted to do, dude, we're the most negative, like realist, freaking hard to please fans in the world. And a lot of people think that that means you're not a fan. And I think that's garbage. You have to be able to criticize. You should be able to criticize your own team. And that makes you not a fan, then I'm not a fan, I guess, because I'm going to criticize the team that I cheer for because they need to be criticized. And the fact that all you guys are staying in here and talking to me means you guys would agree or do agree. Sherman is slow, but he brings experience. Yeah, but, experience only goes so far. But, if they sign him, Bryant, I'm not against it. I'm just not excited, like, woo, you know what I mean? It's, whatever. We should have been ponying up to get a guy like the Jags just traded away, or who is the guy from the Vikings, that Cameron Dantzler? He looks fantastic. We need a corner like that, young, full of energy, good, like a good corner, like a solid number one or as close to number one as you can get. And we don't have that. We have a bunch of also-rans, mid-round picks, undrafted free agents, guys that have been let go by numerous organizations over a period of, 10 years or whatever. The Niners just kind of throw spaghetti at a wall and see what sticks when it comes to their evaluation and personnel decisions when it comes to defensive backs. They will break down the wall, give up picks to go draft a 20th defensive lineman, and they're totally like unapologetic and totally bold with that, the way that they do that. When it comes to secondary, it's like they don't give a crap. And when you play great QBs will find a way to deal with the pass rush and dice your ass up. And that's exactly what happened last night. You can get after the quarterbacks who can't move out of their own way. Yeah, you can rattle them a little bit. But to think that Aaron Rodgers was going to come in and get smoked again, and we were just going to run all, sack them and hurt, throw them down, do what we did the last time, wasn't a realistic expectation. I didn't think it was going to happen, and I was right. And I hate to be right, but I was right. And everybody was saying that I'm not like a real fan and I'm not faithful and I don't have faith. Kiss my ass. That's all I got to say. Sorry. I told everybody when I got on, if you checked my Instagram last night, that I was not going to lay off people and that I was going to say what I wanted to say tonight. And that's what I'm doing. I really don't care if I offend anybody, especially people who think that I'm not a real fan because I'm critical of this team. If you don't like what I had to say, there's a dislike button and an unsubscribe button. That's all I got to say. I am going to be critical of this team because I've been a fan since I was 9 years old. I'm now almost 42. I can say what I want. I've seen greatness. I've seen really bad. We're not really bad, but we ain't great either. Right now, we're just a team with no identity. So I wanted to hit on these last couple topics here before I get going. And I'll say this. Hold on, let me read this exactly. But hold on, my eyes are playing tricks on me. What does that say? After bottom feeders. Oh, we definitely go after bottom feeders when it comes to secondary. You're right about that. I think there's a bad sign and a bad precedent going on right now with the fact that so many of our draft picks this year aren't playing. Like this draft, we missed hard. We missed real hard. Trey Sermon doesn't look that great. Aaron Banks is a healthy scratch. I think. Was he healthy scratch last night or was he just a backup? We had what was I? I'm totally blanking out right now here. So Aaron Banks wasn't playing. Trey Sermon doesn't look all that great. Ambry Thomas is inactive. A lot of our draft class looks pretty bad right now. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be the end all be all, and all of these guys are going to have bad careers. But right now, this past draft is looking like a bust at the moment. It's looking like a bust, and that's horrible. I mean, we have 2 corners that we drafted. One can't even get on the field because he's lost and is not able to, because he missed a year of college or whatever, and he didn't play last year or whatever his excuses. And then Diamador Lenore looks like a mid-round corner. He looks like a guy. He's just a guy. He's not great. And he was shown. His inexperience showed. He went against one of the greatest quarterbacks that ever played the game, and he was toying with the guy. Toying with him. He doesn't turn around. He doesn't track the ball. He makes some good plays sometimes, and he knows how to play the boundaries and stuff, but dude got schooled by the teacher big time. And we talked about this going in, that the secondary was going to be an issue, and it's an issue. It's a really bad issue. The pass rush isn't doing jack squat. Nobody's getting any pressure other than Nick Bosa. So if you got a bunch of corners that are just a bunch of dudes, and your pass rush that's so vaunted isn't getting after anybody, then I hate to tell you, but it's going to be more of the same until we do something different. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That's what the Niners are doing right now. Figure it out. Learn how to draft better. Hit on your earlier picks. Stop falling in love with people and draft the best available player, not because a guy you think you can take a guy that's a road grader and put him into an offense where the offensive linemen have to be agile and be able to move. Like, how is that ever going to work, right? You wait so long to draft corners. You get what you pay for. You sign also rans and bottom feeders like you guys were saying. You get what you pay for. So I'll leave you with this. I'm not saying that this season's over. All I'm saying is this team has a lot of things they got to clean up that are all fixable. I don't know how much you can do in 1 year. Pass rush has to be better, guys. Head coaching has to be more diverse. Trey Lance needs to get involved at some point. Jimmy Garoppolo needs to do more than what he's doing and show that he can hold on to the starting job over a rookie. If not, the rookie needs to play. If you're not going to start him, at least put him in for an extended period of time and see what he could do. Defense, wake up. Get some pressure. DeMeco Ryans, coach like you actually care about your job. Stop being predictable. Learn how to adjust. Disguise your coverages. Because right now you look like a punk who doesn't know what he's doing. And I hate to say it, but you might be one and done this year as a defensive coordinator if this continues. I like your show. I listen, but I'm not always in the chat. I'll try to pop in more often. Oh, I appreciate that, Bryant. Appreciate that. Niner Faith, they'll give Trey a quarter at least. Yeah, man, give him something. You ever notice? I will say this about the Niners, the one thing they are doing right with him. They put him in positions to succeed. I know for all you younger guys that are in this chat, back when Joe Montana was drafted and Steve DeBerg was the quarterback, Steve DeBerg would drive the team down the field, and then Montana would finish off the drives and usually get them into the end zone or score a touchdown. So the Niners, what they would do is they would put Joe in positions where his confidence would be built and he would be successful. And they're kind of doing that with Trey. I like that Trey has to reiterate all the verbiage to Jimmy and he's responsible for that, and they're giving him that responsibility. Eventually he's going to have to play, and you're going to have to just deal with it. You can see when Jimmy comes off the field, guys, he's not very happy. I really don't give a crap. At this point in the game, for as long as he's been on this team and he's still the same player making the same mistakes after 8 years, I really don't care if his feelings are hurt. Tough titty. That's just how it goes. Hopefully Trey at some point takes on more responsibility and we get to see him more. He's going to have mistakes. He's going to make bonehead mistakes, but so does Jimmy. So what are we waiting for? Kyle doesn't want to switch Trey Lance because of the locker room is so long. Who? Yeah, and this locker room is going to keep having losing seasons if they're sold on Jimmy. Everybody's saying, oh, Jimmy just wins. And they do. When Jimmy plays, they do play well. But I just don't feel like it's ever going to get you past the hump. You might get to the big game, or you might be part of the running for the big game, the playoffs or whatever, but you're never going to get to that next place. I feel like Trey eventually is going to give you that chance to do that. He's dynamic. You need to be dynamic in this league. You need to be able to threaten defenses. Defenses need to not being able to sit on your offense and pretty much force you, or not force you. They pretty much are punking you because they know you can't throw the ball downfield. I don't see how Trey Lance can improve by not playing a few snaps. Exactly. That's the only way he's going to get any better. I totally agree. That's how Josh Allen and Justin Herbert. Exactly. Yeah, but I will say this, Fernando, those teams were like kind of in the toilet. So, I mean, look at the quarterbacks that are around the league right now. Trevor Lawrence ain't looking too hot. He looks pretty good, but he ain't too hot. Zach Wilson looks real bad. Mac is okay. He's like Jimmy 2.0. So Trey hasn't shown anything yet. Right now, Trey's winning. I'm not saying that he's going to in the end. Justin Fields don't look too great either, but I think that's more because Chicago is just inept and stupid. So, yeah, right now it looks like Trey's winning just because he's by default. He hasn't played, but I think he's has the most upside and the most ceiling. And hopefully the Niners eventually will grow a pair of balls and actually put him in the game. And if he plays well, keep him in there. So one thing I will say, and then I'm going to end this, guys, way too many penalties last night. Way too many penalties. Yes, the Niners were guilty of some. The Niners got away with some. Packers got away with some. Everybody was getting flags left and right. The refs were way too involved in that game. I'm really getting sick and tired of seeing the refs take spotlight in games. It should be the players. So, yeah, way too involved. The Niners did commit some, though. They were guilty. Aaron Rodgers was toying with our defensive backs with those pass interference calls. It was pretty sad, if you ask me. But, yeah, penalties definitely have to be cleaned up. Jimmy's got to get better with the ball. Defense has to play better. Pass rush needs to find their collective heads and pull them out of their collective rear ends. D'Amico needs to figure out what kind of defensive coordinator is going to be. And Kyle needs to make a decision one way or the other what we're going to do with quarterback and how we're going to run this offense. And if all those things happen, we might have a chance down the stretch. If I was a head coach and got fired because of the locker room, then I wouldn't mind going to a different team to prove them wrong to beat them in the Super Bowl. Players need to understand. Yeah. I don't really care about the locker room at this point because whatever they thought or whatever they think is meaningless because they haven't won a Super Bowl. They've had one winning season in almost 5 seasons. So I really could care less what the locker room thinks. If you want to stand pat and be mediocre to good and kind of be in the mix all the time, but never really threaten anybody of any substantial, teams like the Bucks or the Rams, other than 1 year, then stay with Jimmy. if you want to take your shot and take a chance at being dynamic and threatening teams and having teams not being able to figure out what you're doing, and then, having a defense hopefully that wakes up and has, a pass rush again and has corners that can cover. If you do all those things, then we'll be right back in it. Again, early season, a lot of time to go. Niners can clean a lot of these things up, or at least some of them. But the Niners have some tough choices to make, guys. And if they make those tough choices, who knows? Maybe they'll actually pay off, and we'll be singing a different tune in about 2 months. But that's the show for tonight, guys. Appreciate everybody for coming in and supporting me. Please drop a like. It helps people find me. I'd appreciate it. Drop a subscribe if you like what you see in here, if you like the truth and honesty, no sugarcoating. I'm not usually this animate or swearing this much, but I'm a little irritated. I should have a show this Wednesday with 49 Carats podcast. Probably will be talking about a lot of the same topics. They're just some ladies that I wanted to talk to that have a different, I like to hear things from the ladies' perspective, a different point of view. So if you guys want to join me on Wednesday at 7 p.m., that'll be great. But until then, everybody, have a great night. Stay safe and healthy. And even though I might not sound like it, go Niners. See you later, Niner faithful. Appreciate it, buddy. All right, everyone. Take care. See ya.